when I do this, what am I saying with my body? I'd like to show you a gesture. We make a cross. I wonder what that means.
Time is like a river that carries water to us from upstream. We are nourished by the water, and then we send it forward to the future. This film is about a community of parents and educators in Oregon who share their traditions with their children using a method of religious education called the Catechesis of the Good Shepherd. CGS for short.
What I didn't realize was how immersive the experience is going to be. That this was way deeper. This was actually encountering God through materials.
CGS takes place in a prepared environment known as the atrium. It is an introductory space. Before you enter the temple, you enter the atrium.
Children have, already have a relationship with God that we as adults tend to not really think about. It's like, oh, they're kids, they don't know about, the spiritual life, and that's completely not true. You can see that in the children, they have the most genuine form of love. He was 3, I think, the child, almost turning 4. And he had a very difficult time transitioning into the atrium at first. When it came time to present the crucifix, and I was like, what do we see on this crucifix? And he said, Jesus. And I said, Jesus. I just repeated, what he was saying. And he said, he wanted to give us his blood. And I'm like, he wanted to give us his blood. And he said he wanted to give us his love. And I just repeated that. He wanted to give us his love. We just sat there, the candles lit on the model altar, just looking at the crucifix.
The CGS approach began in Rome within the Roman Catholic tradition. Today it is also appreciated and used across the world in Orthodox Christian, Episcopalian, and other Reformed churches. The simple, deep, respectful, and Bible-based approach reaches beyond confessional divisions.
So I'm helping coordinate the altar servers, and at this last training that we did, there was a couple things that were really important to me. First of all is that we finished with pizza, which is a Eucharistic food. But second of all was actually that each of the different age groups got a presentation of the chalice, according to their level, so 1, 2, or 3. And what was so interesting was to see that even the older ones they found it very moving, and that kind of started to help them take more seriously what they were doing.
But I would like to show you another step. Some people say water represents us and the wine represents Jesus. Can you see the water in our chalice? Can I take the water out? Another part of this is that the child at this stage as well, 3 to 6 years old, they don't want us to do things for them. They want to do it. And so they're giving us the message of help me to do it myself. So we're giving them, the materials, and we're giving them the tools, and they want to be able to do it for themselves. And there'll be moments where I'll be, showing the child, they're like, oh, I can do it. So when we, for example, present to them practical life, we don't say anything really. We just show them quietly and repeat it twice, maybe 3 times. And then we say, it's your turn. Or we invite them, you can work with these materials now. And they just do it.
The CGS method is based on observation, experience, and continual improvement. For more than 70 years, practitioners have honed their methods in countries across the world to match the needs of developing children.
Our job as the catechist is also to observe, and the child is expressing to us what they need, whether or not it's like blatantly expressed like from their lips, but through their behavior. Yes, we proclaim scripture, but then we sit back and we observe.
If they ask us, why did Mary do this? Or why did Jesus, and we'll just say, I wonder. And that allows for the child to wonder about these things. And that's one of the main things too about the atrium is the invitation to wonder. Because the child is full of wonder and full of awe.
When we get to the level 2 atrium, so our 6 to 9-year-olds, for them the word, sometimes I use I wonder, but oftentimes I'll use the word, what do you think about this?
Yes, we can do this next one.
It's cold.
Oh, it keeps us warm. Maybe blankets.
Make metal. Oh.
Open this one.
Emerald.
What does that look like?
Corals. What is this?
People you see there.
Baby. Grandma and grandma? Yeah, that's cool. Is it France?
In that sort of quieting of the body and quieting of the mind, they can begin to ponder. They can begin to wonder and to think. Oftentimes, they're so used to being told what to think. And here, we just think together, and it's a welcome environment for thinking about God and talking about God.
Even the most simplest thing, like pouring water from one pitcher to another, or arranging little puzzle pieces, or pin punching shapes and then pasting them on a piece of paper. These things are helping them develop their sense of self and become independent. But because we do everything in a slow pace, it allows them to meditate on these things that we've heard about from our scripture verse today, or maybe from a presentation that we did about the presentation in the temple. It gives them the time and the space to really take these things and like hold them, in their minds and in their hearts. And so I think that's, one of my favorite things, to be able to give this space to them.
So they've been given the tools, they've been given the instruction on how to work with the materials. They've been given the instruction on how to put those materials away and restore them in a proper manner. It's amazing how many times you'll just be sitting there and watch a child go pick up the broom or the vacuum, or another kid drop something and all of a sudden they're rushing over to pick it up for them or to help them. Children like rules, but they also like freedom. And so you're giving them some of both. It's freedom within a structure.
Openness and order, you can have both. You can put up these parameters in which one can engage in an open way.
Usually parents tell their kids, quiet, be respectful. The Catechesis program was all about explaining why and what it was all about to not only be quiet, but why you genuflect and why things happen in a very simple sense. And I thought that was fantastic.
I think one of the things that it's given the children a greater awareness and a greater disposition to prayer. It's given us a sense about how to create spaces for prayer within the home and how to also integrate prayer in the everyday things, like at the dinner table, the way we would set the dinner table, and connecting that to the Mass.
Yeah, the difference that I'm seeing in kids who are doing the catechesis is that they're teaching their parents some things. Like they're really going home, and their parents are really amazed by the kids. They know the liturgical colors, they know the vestments names, they know these kinds of things that typically wouldn't cover in a regular class.
I was moved to tears because he went in, he came out, and he was leaping with joy. His whole body was moving with joy after he experienced the sacrament. And when I was a child preparing for the sacrament, that was not how we were taught to experience the sacrament of reconciliation.
She decided that she was going to write a note to Jesus and give him a gift. She gave one of her little chocolate eggs to Jesus and put it in this box and decided that she wanted to put it in the Willamette River. And she put it in the river and watched it float away. And, she was really developing this way of communicating with God that was her own way. And it was beautiful.
The community has many voices, many languages, and many gifts that they bring together to create an educational environment for their children. Some take extensive training to become catechists. Others tend the garden. Still others build the furniture and educational materials. Each one makes an important contribution.
After Mass, I'll bring them in and I'll, just walking through, they'll be amazed because they see everything at a child's size and realize that we're not just putting them in front of a desk and teaching them things, we're letting them experience things. And it's hard for people to understand without physically seeing it.
The purpose of this film has been to help you see for yourself and to learn about something beautiful that might be good for your child. To hear more in-depth interviews with the people shown in this film, take a look at the supplementary materials in the comments below. And to find an atrium near you, check out cgsusa.org.